fame, or infamy? What's the difference if you're desperate enough? Plenty of people want the spotlight. Most at least wonder if they deserve it. But Rupert Pupkin? Imposter syndrome never met the guy.
Way up top so we can look down at everybody and yell, "Hey, tough luck, suckers. Better luck next time."
And when obsession beats talent, you get the king of comedy. In 1983, Martin Scorsese, coming off the success of Raging Bull, pivoted sharply with his next project. Instead of the self-destructive traits of a heavyweight boxer, he turned his focus to the toxic nature of fame and fandom. The king of comedy follows Rupert Pupkin, Robert De Niro, an aspiring comedian with an obsessive fixation on late-night talk show host Jerry Langford, Jerry Lewis. For Rupert, it's better to be king for a night than a schmuck for life. A fantasy that takes him from blind optimism to straight-up kidnapping in his pursuit of a big break. The result? A notorious flop. What audiences missed at the time was a finely tuned critique of celebrity at any cost, one that feels just as relevant today as it ever has. At the heart of it all is the question the film never lets us shake. Does Rupert deserve success? Or is his dream just another illusion? Scorsese keeps that tension alive by refusing to give us an easy answer. We never see Rupert at the clubs, working material, trying to survive a bad set. Instead, he's on the streets, chasing the coattails of people who've already made it. The only hint we get as to his talent is a throwaway gag. Not terrible, not brilliant, just enough to suggest what type of comic he could be.
Jerry, let me show you a picture of my pride and joy.
By withholding his act, the film keeps us in suspense.
Hey, Jerry, take it.
Is there any real talent here?
Take it. Go ahead.
Or only make-believe?
Consider it a gift. It'll work for you.
But the truth is, whether Rupert is good or not hardly matters. What matters to him is the approval that comes with the spotlight. That's where Rita, Diane Abbott, comes in. Someone Rupert knew from school, now stuck in a life that's never quite lived up to its promise.
Mr. Romance.
She becomes another stage for Rupert's fantasy. Winning her attention would be like a hometown victory lap. Proof he wasn't the loser that everyone thought. The truth is, she goes along with him less out of attraction than out of circumstance. Ordinary life hasn't offered her much else. Even on their date, Rupert can't escape being the butt of the joke. The stranger mocks him behind his back, something he doesn't even notice, but we do. It's a reminder that outside of his fantasies, he's still defined by ridicule.
Rita, every king needs a queen. I want you to be mine.
Rita isn't a love interest so much as a small-scale version of the same need he projects onto Langford. Attention, validation, proof that he's somebody. But when reality won't give him the spotlight, Rupert just builds one for himself. Right there, in his basement.
First of all, Miss Long, thank you very much.
Here he can rehearse his fantasy with life-size cutouts, scripted banter, and a make-believe authority so strong, it almost feels earned.
Yeah, I know. You look wonderful too, Jerry.
The only person who really cuts through Rupert's act is his mother.
What's the matter with you?
Mom!
Take it easy. Lower it.
I'm not gonna lower it. I have to do this now.
I don't mind you playing it, but lower it.
He's shortest with her, rude even, as if her voice pokes a hole straight through his fantasy.
The bus is here.
And the kicker?
Try to be on time for once.
That voice belongs to Scorsese's own mother, Catherine, making every interruption sting with just a little more reality.
Rupert, who are you talking to?
Mom!
What is it?
Please stop calling me.
Rupert's basement isn't the only construction. The real studio is just as manufactured. Bright lights, canned applause, carefully choreographed beats, all designed to make millions believe in a reality that doesn't exist. Rupert's mistake isn't building a replica. It's believing either space, real or imagined, could ever give him the recognition he's chasing.
I'm the king. I think you're expecting me? Will you please give your warmest welcome to the newest king of comedy, Rupert Pupkin.
One of my favourite shots in the film comes when Rupert faces his audience.
My name is Rupert Pupkin.
At first, the crowd looms small in front of him. Then the camera dollies back.
Is there anyone here?
The room seems to stretch. The laughter track swelling as if his fantasy is inflating in real time.
Because once you fall below a certain level,
The grandeur growing with every inch of camera movement. Not bad for a set propped up by cardboard cutouts. Of course, all of this only works because the performances sell it. Rupert, Jerry, Marcia.
You're driving me crazy!
Three angles on the same warped idea of fame. If De Niro captured peak toxic masculinity in Raging Bull, here he flips it. Rupert is needy, awkward, alarmingly unaware of how showy he sounds.
take good care of that. In a few weeks, everyone is going to want me.
Yet his confidence is unflappable. So consistent, we start to wonder if he really might pull it off. Jerry Lewis brings the sharpest contrast. By the early 80s, he was past his prime, more associated with telethons than cutting-edge comedy. That baggage works in the film's favour. Langford's weary patience and flashes of resentment feel authentic because Lewis himself had lived through adoration, harassment, and the toll of being public property. He isn't just playing a character. He channels the costs of his own celebrity. Casting him also works as meta-commentary. Once a king of comedy, now out of step with the times, Lewis plays opposite a man desperate to take the crown. One exhausted by fame, the other consumed by it. Both trapped by the same idea of celebrity, just from opposite ends. For Langford, fame isn't adoration, it's access, with the public demanding a piece of him at every turn.
Would you just please say something to my nephew Morris on the phone? He's in the hospital.
I'm sorry, I'm late.
You should only get cancer. I hope you get cancer.
Bernhard, meanwhile, pushes that demand to its grotesque extreme. What Rupert sees as a stepping stone, Marcia sees as a prize. She doesn't want the spotlight. She wants to possess the man in it. Her performance is comic, erratic, and frightening. A reminder that obsession doesn't just chase fame. Sometimes it tries to hold it hostage. Together, the casting blurs reality and fiction, collapsing the distance between the actors' real personas and Scorsese's critique of fame. Throughout the film, we're invited into Rupert's make-believe.
Hey, it's not that big a deal to think. I'm asking you to just think.
I'm thinking.
His fantasies spill out of the basement and into his waking life. Daydreams of hosting Jerry's show, being hailed as a genius,
From what I've heard here, yeah, you've got it.
even marrying on national television. Each one feels more convincing than the last, until reality itself starts to wobble.
Would you let Jerry know that we're here, please?
That blurring finally snaps at Langford's country home. Rupert drags Rita there as if stepping into the fantasy he's been rehearsing. But instead it collapses in real time. Langford dismantles him with brutal honesty, stripping away the illusion, leaving Rupert exposed.
That's not my responsibility.
Well, it is when you tell me to call you and then you don't...
I told you to call to get rid of you.
And from that humiliation, Rupert pivots into his most desperate move, the kidnapping. What makes the abduction so unnerving is how ordinary it feels. He lurches from rejection to crime, with barely a pause in between, pulling it off with bumbling incompetence. Even Langford seems more weary than terrified. This isn't the first obsessive fan he's had to deal with, just the most extreme. It plays almost like a farce, which makes the fact that it works all the more disturbing.
Is not allowed to be the first guest on. You got a blank card. Hold on, Bert. I'm reading from 2 cards.
By this point, the film has already made us complicit. We want him to succeed. Not because Rupert is an anti-hero worth rooting for, but because we've been nudged into hoping he's secretly as good as he insists.
Rupert Pupkin.
Then, at last, we see him perform. And it's fine. Competent even.
And you know, when they tested her, they found out that her alcohol had 2% blood.
Rupert is rehearsed, confident. He doesn't step on his own jokes. What it isn't is a disaster, which almost makes it more unsettling. Because self-deception at that level can pass for conviction. That uncertainty feeds into the closing montage, where the success he's long fantasized about not only comes true, but looks bigger than he could have imagined. We're left wondering if America's obsession with notoriety secured this, or if he only ever became famous in his head. That ambiguity is the film's final sting, and maybe part of the reason why it didn't land in 1983. Scorsese wasn't giving audiences the operatic violence they expected, but a slow, cynical satire about self-deception and desire. What's most striking about the look of the King of Comedy is its restraint. After the rich expressionistic visuals of Raging Bull, Scorsese pares everything down.
You're the director, can you help me?
Yeah, take the tissues out of your collar and let's go.
The lighting is flatter, the rhythm slower, shots hold for longer than comfort allows.
That's terrific.
The unease doesn't come from involved camera work, but from how long we're forced to sit in other people's discomfort around Rupert.
Is that cork?
Hold on.
The film also arrived in a decade when films were still reeling from expensive auteur flops like Heaven's Gate. Hollywood closed ranks, pivoting away from risky director-driven projects towards safer, high-concept bets.
You're gonna have a lot of explaining to do, Mr. Works.
In the 1970s, American cinema had thrived as a reaction to disillusion, post-Vietnam, post-Watergate, in the shadow of a recession.
What is your real name?
Audiences were primed for messy, cynical stories that mirrored the national mood. By the early 80s, that appetite had shifted. Escapism was in, blockbusters were on the rise, and the King of Comedy felt almost like it had arrived a decade too late. The biggest hit of 1983? A little indie called Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. But that mismatch is also why it plays differently now. In 1983, celebrities still felt distant. Glimpsed on TV, read about in magazines, maybe caught at a stage door. Today, with constant access, social feeds, and influencers collapsing the gap between performer and audience, Rupert Pupkin doesn't feel like an outlier. He feels like the prototype. Its clearest area is Todd Phillips' Joker from 2019. Another story of a wannabe comic, another man collapsing into fantasy, another narrative that blurs reality until its climax. The casting even underlines the lineage. De Niro, once the desperate fan, now the jaded host. But while the King of Comedy misfired in an 80s marketplace chasing escapism, Joker landed in a climate primed for it. Where Scorsese's film skewered the media culture of its day, Joker channeled a world where anger and alienation had become the mood. It wouldn't be hard to argue that the king of comedy walked, so Joker could run. The king of comedy leaves us in the grey space between reality and fantasy, where fame is both reward and punishment. That's the paradox. Pupkin's dream is Langford's nightmare, and we, the audience, are complicit in wanting the spectacle. We're also left with a question. In a culture with an endless appetite for notoriety, does Rupert succeed because of his talent, or simply because of his crime? Rupert Pupkin may be a joke, but in a world that rewards attention at any cost, the joke isn't really on him. It's on us.
Come on, just because I made it big doesn't mean I'm gonna forget about it. Come on, will you?
I've been working on my Tide 10, and this was a film you forgot. So what do you think? Was Rupert Pupkin actually any good at comedy? Or was it all delusion? Let me know down in the comments.